If I can't make you jealous, how will I know I'm better than you? If I can't make you jealous, how will I know my own value? You see, things like this are relative in that they can't exist alone. In the beginning, there was nothing. Literally, not a damn thing. Not even time. Consciousness appears. All alone, a single point. The only thing in existence. It can move, but moving through nothingness is really not that much to hear or see or experience. It can feel, though its feelings are severely limited because there's nothing to experience. Well, that's kind of boring. So consciousness decides, I need a friend. So it splits itself into two. Now it can tell when it's moving and in which direction based on its relative distance from its other half. It can also develop feelings different from before. And the topic of my video today, jealousy, not envy. Those are distinctly different. They often get conflated, but I'm focusing on jealousy today. I have with me 5 fragrances in my collection that make the rest of my fragrance collection jealous. Yep, I can feel the rest of my fragrance collection staring at me in fear and anxiety whenever I reach for one of these 5. In that moment, they all know that they're all about to be looked over because they can't give me what I need at that point in time. The first one is this. L'Homme Idéal by Guerlain. Unboxings are included. Box away. There it is. I have used up half of this already. L'Homme Idéal. It means the ideal man. The ideal man. The friend with benefits. He comes over, he takes you grocery shopping, he helps you cook dinner, and then he f***s shit out of you. Then he helps you wash the dishes, gives you a fist bump, and goes on his merry way. And you're like, well, that was pleasant. You never feel the urge to make first contact, but you're always glad when your phone vibrates and it's the L'Homme Idéal. Next is Eau Sauvage Parfum, 2017 version, not the 2012. Box be gone. There it is. I'll give you a closer look of this one. And I haven't really made that much of a dent because you don't really need to spray this one too much. Even on my ridiculously absorbent skin, it's quite potent, quite powerful, quite long-lasting. It is a parfum at the end of the day, and it is a Dior, so it's quality juice. Yes, so not the 2012. The 2012 I find too dark. The 2012 is too dark. The 2012 is like that guy who, alone in his room, he sits cross-legged on an ornate rattan armchair with white sweat socks that's been pulled up and house shoes, sipping port wine from a tiny cup, staring furiously at a blank space on a wall, whilst one side of his face is being heated up by an electric heater. Too dark, too dark. The 2017, this one has the same kind of darkness, but it is toned down quite a bit, and it does have more of that sparkle up the top, which makes it more of an all-weather type of fragrance, except for the high heat of summer. It is a bit more polished around the edges as well, and all the rough edges have been smoothed out. There are no corners on this scent, just like the bottle itself. The 2017 is the impeccably dressed and groomed older gentleman who still believes in courtship. Mr. 2017 Eau Sauvage Parfum takes you out to one of the swankiest restaurants you've never been to. You go in there, you try to Google the place, but you can't even find it on Google. So you sit down at probably the best table in the house. The waiters know him personally, and the chef comes out of the kitchen and says, "Hey guys, I've got something special for you. Would you like me to take you on an Epicurean journey?" And instead of answering on your behalf, he looks at you and says, What do you think? And you guffaw like an idiot. Yeah, sure. And after the most elegant night of your life, he takes you home. He even walks you to your door and he thanks you for your company. But he doesn't come inside. You're home. Okay, this one's gonna be tough. Whew, okay. Dear homme parfum. Or some people like to call it parfum. I love that guy. Unbox and fingerprints? Yeah, there's plenty. But here it is, the juice of wonder. Imagine you're in a relationship with someone. Imagine you're in a relationship with this guy. Every time you meet, it's like a transcendental experience. You feel as though you're on a higher plane of experience, and every time you find yourself having an out-of-body kind of experience. Your time together is never sharply focused. It's kind of blurry, but not like a drunk kind of blurry, but more like a soft bokeh. This relationship is la Dolce Vita. It is the one that you look forward to. But there's a feeling of confusion because this is a relationship with someone whose name you still don't know and you're too afraid to ask, and frankly, you don't even care at this point. Really, it doesn't bother you at all. At all. And you're happy to keep doing the thing that you've been doing because it's literally the most beautiful escapism you've ever known in your entire life. Fair warning, it is like a drug though, because this feeling of a high is followed long after, as in long after, because this lasts an absurdly long time. You get this feeling of emptiness where you question whether you're even good enough to be in this relationship. Your entire thoughts are devoted to it. So much so that you can barely think about anything else. Your world becomes a melange of self-deprecating pity and longing, which makes you utterly miserable, leading you to seek an escape. But because your ego has been self-harmed into almost non-existence, you have no shame, and so end up reaching for it again. What are you gonna do? Okay, I might say some stuff now that's probably a bit risque. Okay. So the next fragrance that makes the rest of my collection jealous is this one. Tom Ford's Ombre Leather, the cuck monster. That's what I like to call it anyway. Here is La Bottle. This thing, yeah. This thing is coming to cuck you. That's what it's gonna do. It has no other intention. Plain and simple. This thing is a confidence generator. You wanna know why? Because it's not a fragrance as much as it is just a smell. Now, I say just a smell because most people won't immediately recognize this as being a fragrance. But once they figure it out, it's gonna be like gears spinning, and then they're gonna be thinking like, you need to be a special kind of confidence to be wearing something like that on purpose. Like you need to be super sure of yourself, especially the narrative of yourself. And that kind of confidence and self-assuredness is attractive, and confidence is intoxicating to those who possess it. And once under the influence, inhibitions and morals are just soft pebbles of sand crushed under the weight of ego. I mean, the inhibitions and morals are still there. They just provide a soft cushion on which Mr. Ombre Leather here can exercise his intent. So back to our 2 points of consciousness who are in the middle of nothingness. They decide to explore, but they don't want to get lost by straying too far from each other. They also don't want to move in the same direction, as that wouldn't make much sense, because moving in the same direction in nothingness is like standing still. The only logical thing for them to do is to tether themselves to each other and explore the largest area they can. And they do this by drawing a circle. and they take turns drawing circles, filling the nothingness with a pattern of exploration, a blueprint that will form the basis of all things that follow. And while doing so, they start to think, am I the better one?